You talked about, and I've heard you talk about, you're building a team, not just a group of individuals. So when you're making that transition, right? I mean, now you got a period of weeks. It used to be you have your years to talk to a kid. Now you got a period of weeks. How do you make that assessment of their character, their work ethic, their fit for the team? How do you do that in this short period of time now?
Yeah, biggest thing is a lot of phone calls, and then your conversations and trying to get the best read you can from people that know them, people around them. Sometimes you maybe had a previous relationship, sometimes you don't. So you got to put a lot of information together in a short period of time, and then just kind of trust your gut, with it. After doing this for now 27 years, you start to get a feel for kids and what they're about and what they talk about, what's important to them, and you can get a real sense of what their priorities are and their motivation for wanting to potentially come to your school, and then after that you hope you did enough and you put it together and then you go make it work.
Yeah, you watch a lot of film on the players. I mean, is that something you do too?
Yeah, you have to, because it all happens so fast. Like you said, it used to be maybe you recruit a kid for 2-3 years, so you had all the
good old times. That was a long time ago.
You could spend as much time as you wanted. Now in a 2-3 week period, you got to watch as many highlights and film as you can to get into.
So walk me through that. You're watching film. Tell me about somebody that you've recruited maybe before that people overlooked, and you said, okay, that's something I see. But what are you looking for?
I think the biggest thing is you're going to see their skill level. That's going to stand out. You have stats and things that you can look at too, but then how competitive are they? What's that look like out on the floor? What are maybe some of the little things that stand out?
Like what? Give me an example.
Maybe it's a kid diving on the floor for a loose ball, or attempting to take charges, or they make that extra pass, when they should, make that extra opportunity. And those are all things that are all a piece of kind of what they are as a player. And then when you kind of add them all up, you got a pretty good sense of what they would look like, and then how do they fit into what you want to do.
Yeah. Do you have a vision of what the team makeup sort of is going to look like, and then trying to fit those pieces? Or are you recruiting and then thinking, okay, I'm going to adjust the puzzle a little bit?
No, I think in general you try to fit to, hey, what do we like to do, and then make it fit. It doesn't always have to be exactly perfect, but you want to make sure you got enough pieces that all can play well together. And I think that's really important, is when you talk about, as we talk about, not just bringing an individual, bringing in a team and putting a team together, it's how would they work together? Will they complement each other? And you're not going to know for sure until they get here, but I think when you do your homework on the front end, it gives you the best chance to assemble a roster that can function together and then go win together.
Yeah. We talked a little bit about the culture issue, but how do you build it, right? How do you get it to where you want it to be? You talked about you might take your teams fishing to build the camaraderie, but what is it? How do you work that every day to build that culture of where you want it to be?
Yeah, I think a lot of it's just on the front end, doing a really good job of establishing those relationships and having them, understand why are they coming here, and what's those expectations, and then when they're all laid out in the front end and then they decide to come, you already have a pretty good idea of why everybody's here, and they know that, and then you just got to build it from there. And it doesn't happen overnight. That's something that takes time, and sometimes it can happen very quickly. Sometimes it can take months. But as long as you continue to stay steady and make the process what you want it to be, it seems to work out in a positive way.
Do you have a team that sticks out in your mind that was the most connected that way, or as a team anyways?
Yeah, I don't know if I would rank them.
You don't want to go there.
I don't want to go there. Get
mad text messages.
Trouble. But every group's unique. So even if it's over the course of years, sometimes you lose one guy or two guys, or maybe you lost 7 guys, but every team takes on a new personality. Even with 1 or 2 guys, everybody's in different roles. Even that little bit of a shift can make a huge dynamic in your team and how they function and operate. So that's kind of the fun part of coaching is watching it kind of all evolve, even from June workouts to the start of the season, and hopefully by the end and your last game, your team has continued to become better and better, and that's the fun part of it all. And then after the season's over, you start it over again.
Yeah.